Hi everyone, Nate here with PCL. I hope you're all enjoying Safety Week this week. For today's topic, we're going to talk about hand and finger safety. Now, hand and fingers are the most common body part that are frequently injured, not only with PCL, but throughout our industry of construction. We're going to talk a little bit about a few things, just a few pointers to keep in mind as we continue to work on this job site. First and foremost, everything that we do comes down to planning. We plan out our work using our pre-job safety instruction, or PSI. Now, when it comes to hand and finger safety, some things to keep in mind and identify on your PSI is think about any potential pinch point hazards that could be encountered doing your task. Are there any cuts or laceration hazards to keep in mind? Are you handling any chemicals that you need to protect your hands with? After we thoroughly plan out our task, before starting the work, make sure we have the right type of equipment and material needed to conduct our work safely. Now, another topic is gloves. Keep in mind that gloves are required on all PCL job sites. But one thing to definitely keep in mind is that there are different types of gloves out there. There isn't one single glove that protects yourself from all hazards. That's why there's many different types of gloves. There's gloves that have different cut ratings, for example. Some are cut resistant, some are not. There's gloves that protect you against vibration hazards. There's gloves that protect you against different chemical hazards. So again, it's very important to make sure that we are using our PSI to plan out our work so that we can identify the right type of material that's needed to conduct our work safely. Now, when it comes to cutting, there's some basic things that we need to keep in mind. For example, I'm cutting a box here. A couple things to keep in mind is definitely cut away from yourself. Cut away from your body. You don't want to be risking yourself or your body by cutting towards you. Also, keep in mind your less dominant hand, right? Many times we lose sight or lose focus on where we place our less dominant hand. And many times when we place our dominant hand on our material, in this case on our box, we could potentially put this less dominant hand in the line of fire when we're making the cut. And obviously that's something that we want to avoid. Now, when discussing on different types of cutting tools, there's all sorts of different cutting tools that are out there. There's box cutters, there's sawzalls, there's circular saws. Each of these different types of cutting tools have the proper way to use them. So please consult with the manufacturer's specifications, but also if you have any questions or need any help on how to operate any of these tools safely, please inform your foreman or any member of PCL. I'm going to turn it over to John, who's going to talk a little bit about additional cutting tools.
One.
Hello everyone, John here with the Safety Department for PCL. Just want to go over a quick few things of items that are not allowed to be used on the PCL job site. One of the common tools that we see that's being used and shouldn't be used and is not allowed on the job site is your multi-tool, also known as a Leatherman or a Gerber, depending on what brand you guys use. This right here has multiple tools that are installed in it. And the reason why these are not allowed to be used on the job site is because if for whatever reason, if you need a screwdriver, a blade, or needle nose pliers, these tools have their own individual tools by itself that you're able to use to complete the task. So these right here on PCL job sites are a no-no. The other tool that we see commonly used is your basic pocket knife. We do not allow pocket knives on the job site to be used to cut any material because if you guys try to close it, you run the risk of touching the blade a lot. Our goal is, like Nate said earlier, to make sure that our fingers and hands are away from any line of fire. As you can see right here, me trying to close it is part of my fingers are in the line of fire. Same thing as well goes for these types of razors. We don't want these razors to be used on the job site for that same reason. These razors are very sharp, and when we attempt to close it, we run the risk of putting our hands in the line of hands and fingers inside the line of fire, as well as touching the blade. There are alternative methods that we could use in lieu of this, and this is the box cutters. The reason why we like using box cutters on the job site is because our hands should never have to touch the blade. as you can see me demonstrating here, as well as here too. Not once does my hand ever touch the blade. The other unique thing with this is that these box cutters have a ceramic blade. What does that mean? A ceramic blade will give you the same the same kind of power as it would if you try to cut the box with the regular metal blade, which is already sharp to begin with. And now when you use a ceramic blade, this right here with the same amount of force can also cut the box in the same way. This blade is a little bit more rounded. It's not as sharp as it is as sharp as the other blade, but won't cause as much of an impact onto other surfaces as you guys use it. So that right there, my friends, is the proper tools that you're allowed to use for the job.